of Planet Don't Know What right after this.
The waffle.
Waffle. And we are back.
Good morning, Beth.
Good morning, Beth.
Beth, good morning.
I got the delightful pleasure of getting to see Beth last week, or maybe that was this week.
Beth's
last
comment
week.
every morning is just like a little smiley face.
It
that
is.
It
pops
really
on
is.
The screen.
Yep.
Like,
Just
oh, yay.
love seeing Beth and everybody else that usually comments and says howdy. We appreciate that.
I do appreciate it very
Glad
much.
to know somebody's out there. We're not just talking into the ether, the vacuum. Although we'd probably do it anyway.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, why not?
Oh,
we got
man.
nothing else going on. Might as well.
Need my second cup of coffee at this time of day anyway, so
Yeah.
How's the indigestion doing?
I'm doing all right. Some days
Okay.
better than others.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's funny.
I've been thinking about that.
Well,
I don't know why.
We're going to go right to the old man
Yeah,
problems
yeah,
because
so,
I've got one to
how's-
talk
So
about. I have a
Saturday,
health complaint
Saturday,
to
I start to
discuss.
make a pizza, and I haven't had pizza, right? Because red
Yeah.
sauce. So, but I
Yeah.
did like a what do you call it? A vodka sauce? Is that when you mix
Yeah.
Alfredo and marinara? Basically, it's
no,
not quite the same,
no, but
it looks like it.
blush would be what that's
Blush
called.
is
that
what you
would
call
be
it?
a blush.
Oh, so I had no idea. Well, anyway, I thought, well, I can probably handle that because it's not all
Yeah.
tomato
Yeah.
sauce. So I did that, except the problem was I still wanted my favorite toppings. My favorite pizza
Okay.
is Italian sausage
That's
with
just,
jalapenos
Ooh.
and pineapple. You
Ooh.
get that savory, sweet, spicy all together.
But that's
and
indigestion.
that
in
is
a can.
indigestion waiting to
Yeah.
happen. So Shayna's like, "What are you doing?"
What are you
And
doing,
I'm like,
Christ?
"I'm
Slaps the
tired of
sausage out of
this.
your
I'm
hand."
tired of this diet. I'm going for it." She's like, "I've been doing all this work to cook off of the FODMAP for you, and you're gonna do this." She goes, "I'm done trying." I'm like, "No, I just need a moment. I need to have this." She goes, "All right, good luck." And sure enough, by like 8 p.m., I'm going, Tums, give me the Tums.
I am a Hawaiian pizza fan. I
do
like the
like Hawaiian
ham,
pizza. Oh, yeah.
pineapple. The people that are all up in arms about that, I just calm down.
I'm
It's
Yeah,
great.
calm down.
Pizza,
This-
period.
Calm down.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Pro pizza.
It's
Yeah,
really good.
I love it. Yeah, I was Hawaiian to begin with, and then years ago, I was like, what if we did sausage instead of ham?
Well, that's,
Yeah.
And then I thought, ooh,
Then there was a great
jalapenos.
awakening.
and that's my pizza. That's what I
don't
eat every
like
time now.
jalapenos.
Oh, see,
You
I
know,
do.
And,
I eat
and
them
it's
a
not,
lot.
I'm not a huge fan of heat, although it doesn't bother me. And every once in a while I'll be like, yeah, let's get a little hot sauce or something in that.
Yeah.
But I do not like the flavor of jalapenos.
Yeah,
They
okay,
taste
that
too-
makes sense. Because
Fair.
that was my thing with jalapenos. It's not crazy heat. It's just a little bit of heat,
Yeah.
just to give
My
that
hand
sweet
is
and
still
heat.
burning from cutting a jalapeno last night.
Wow.
Boy, it was a
That's
doozy.
impressive.
I never had one bother me like this
Thank you,
before.
Carol. You're right on track there with her. She likes the pineapple on her pizza too.
Love it.
I just like all
Well,
pizza.
so what I've got, this is so, you've got this potentially to look forward to is, so I think I never had acid reflux, but I think I got a little bit like everybody gets it every once in a while.
Yeah.
Sure.
So I think it was maybe Sunday night. I woke up and my throat was burning. I had felt it, and that's what had happened.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like continuing to
surge.
be irritated. So the next night, I aspirated saliva in the middle of my sleep.
Okay. Thank you for that.
Yeah. So that's where you wake up. I don't know. I think
The waffle,
old man
the
face.
waffle just became like having a conversation with your aging parents.
That's right.
We are aging parents.
So
to some
that's
people.
exactly what I am.
Parenting ages you. That's the thing.
But I mean, like choke on your own spit, kind of old guy
Oh,
thing.
man,
I've got
Totally
one. I've
did
got
that.
one too.
And I mean, I can't believe the whole house in here because I'm just like trying to get some breath and coughing and all that.
Oh.
And I've done that actually 3 times in the past like several months. So
Wow, you may be getting on some heartburn medication
I may,
before long.
yeah, I'm gonna have to go to the doctor. or
CPAP's
something.
coming up next.
No,
Beth has a recommendation. Great value, mild Italian sausage does not bother her stomach. There's one
Okay.
to try.
All
There's
right.
one to try. We're having
I'm
a real
a
adult
Jimmy Dean guy,
conversation.
but I'm gonna
God, Jimmy Dean's so good.
so yummy.
The next segment sponsored by AARP.
No, I've got
They've been
one
sending
too.
me mail for like 20 years. So
I know, right?
So this is my weird thing I'm doing now. As I'm falling asleep, I will jerk my jaw and either bite my tongue
Ooh.
or crack my teeth together.
oh,
What the heck is this?
you're gonna be sleeping with a mouth guard.
I'm gonna have to have a stinking mouth guard.
Wow.
What?
Golly.
Why do these things happen as we
Headgear.
age? I don't understand.
I started putting biofreeze on my calves at night because otherwise I get leg cramps in the middle of the night. Isn't this great?
Oh my God! We're really hitting our target audience of the young. Life tips on how to age gracefully this morning.
I don't know about grace.
There's not a lot of
just
grace.
getting through.
Yeah, just trying to survive.
Beth also likes
boy.
the Jimmy Dean. Jimmy Dean is my default sausage. It's so good.
Yeah.
And a fantastic actor, that Jimmy Dean.
That Jimmy Dean.
You know,
Yeah,
he
he
was
had
in,
a song.
he did. He was in a James Bond movie.
Really?
Yeah,
Was
he
he
was
really?
Willard White in Diamonds Are Forever. The
hilarious.
worst James Bond movie ever made, by the way. Diamonds Are Forever.
Oh,
Terrible.
Beth says you need magnesium. Well,
Magnesium.
Magnesium, yes.
For the leg cramps. Yeah.
gosh.
I'm sure I need a lot of different stuff.
Well,
but,
it is good though to talk about this stuff, right? Because like for a long time,
Thanks,
I
Carol.
feel like you were supposed to avoid talking about, getting older.
Yeah.
No,
Nah, which is,
it
it's
happens
all.
to everybody.
Well, so last night I was hanging out around the campfire. There's 8 or 10 of us guys, and I'm like this. I just don't realize my age sometimes. So in my mind, all these guys, like we're all just guys, we're all just the same age. And one of the guys made the comment like, "Yeah, Chris, so your generation." And I look around and I realize, oh yeah, these guys are all 15 to 20 years younger than me. I'm the old guy at the table.
Beth.
And then this morning, I'm sitting with 2 guys who are 15 to 20 years older than me, and I loved every minute of it. I was just soaking it up. That's why I was late getting over here. I was just enjoying hearing from them. But yeah, it's weird how often I'm the old guy at the table now.
yeah, no, I get that now. It definitely
It shook me.
sneaks
It
up on
shook
you a
me.
little bit. It sneaks up on you a little bit.
It's kind of great though at the same time.
I did, you and I have a real
Yeah.
spy versus spy going on this morning. Have you looked at the monitor?
Yeah, it's true. Yep.
Oh yeah,
I'm glad to be on the good guy side.
it is kind of funny
Why
because
do
in
you
my
think
shirt
the white
it's a
guy's a
blend.
good guy?
Oh, I was talking about I was talking about light and dark.
That'll probably
okay.
finally get us canceled. Somebody over the weekend was like, "I've been watching your show a couple of times." I'm like, "Oh yeah," and he's like, "So like, do people watch it?" I'm like, "Sometimes."
Occasionally.
Some people do.
Well, you did apparently.
Yeah,
so.
and he's
It's
like,
really? People watch that?
yeah. He's like, "You guys made some good points." I'm like, "Thanks." He's like,
try.
"You'll probably get canceled." he's like, "When you speak the truth, you'll get canceled." It's like, yeah, I know.
Well, we're on Twitter too, so everybody may need to start following us
Twitter's
on
the
Twitter
safe
because
space.
it's our safe space right now to say what you're really thinking. Although, I guess some people have gotten blocked and kicked off, but generally, I think it's for like illegal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I would hope
well,
that
yeah.
would be the only.
They shouldn't use their
the only
platform
thing.
for illegal behavior.
Yeah. Well,
not
what was
good.
it? Instagram just had the big thing of all the predator trafficking stuff.
Oh,
is
I
going
hadn't heard
on
this.
No,
on
I'm
Instagram. Yeah,
not surprised.
Me neither.
It's a
Golly,
mess.
What were we talking about before? I can't remember.
Pizza, getting old,
Pizza,
heartburn.
old
Before we
person
went on the air, there was
complaints.
something we were kind of talking. Oh, I know what it was. It was
Oh, it was-
Twitter.
Oh,
Oh, I thought, okay.
It was
yeah.
the Twitter storm over the weekend. We had chatted about just a little bit.
I didn't hear much about that, but you guys were talking about a Joe Rogan situation.
Yeah, and that guy's name Peter Strauss or something.
Yeah, so I guess, and I have not heard the episode, but I guess Rogan has said, I'll put $100,000 towards your favorite charity if you'll go on and debate Kennedy.
Yeah, so I guess Robert Kennedy, the second place Democrat nominee for president, was on Joe Rogan, and he's always been a doubter, I think, about the COVID
Vaccination,
narrative, and
the whole
vaccinations
COVID
and
narrative,
all
you're
that
right.
stuff, the whole COVID
Which
narrative.
is refreshing, let's be honest, from that side of the aisle.
Critical thinking is
Absolutely.
a plus.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's okay to have critical thinking.
And I believe it started because this doctor I don't know what his name is, Strozik or something.
Yeah.
Kind of got and started commenting on Twitter or something, attacking them, I think. And so Rogan's like, "Hey, I'll give you $100,000 to come on and donate and debate the guy."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, I wouldn't do that. I'm not doing that," and it just won't do it.
And now it's up to like 1.5 million different people that have said,
people been
"I'll put it
chipping in.
into your you name your charity."
Yeah, and he keeps doubling down. He's not going to do it.
Yeah.
And there's some great little compilation videos.
Why
of
would you
him.
not?
I don't know.
I mean, you're the doctor. He's the politician.
Yeah, you ought to be able to.
You ought to have
eat
the
his
upper
lunch
hand, right?
If you're right.
If
If you're
right.
telling the truth.
Yeah.
Interesting.
absolutely.
And that's the
I'll have to
thing.
look some of this up.
This doctor's being called out on a lot of misinformation or disinformation.
Well, and one of his big talking points is all of the misinformation that killed, thousands of people died because of COVID misinformation, because they wouldn't wear a mask and because they wouldn't get their vaccine. Which I can't believe he's still telling that narrative with all of the studies we have now.
Nobody's talking about the highest comorbidity was actually obesity.
Yeah.
So,
Well, and he's got, they've got video of him talking about, you've got to vaccinate your kids. You've got to vaccinate your kids. And, like children were at virtually zero risk.
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
right.
From COVID. So just, he was a good, talking point. He kept with the party line on that really well. And he's sticking to it, which is just the amazing thing is most of those folks have gone silent at this point.
At least go silent rather than doubling down, right?
Yeah, so it's really interesting that he's doing that. But
I'd have to look up this Rogan stuff because I haven't heard any of this yet.
Well,
I'm not a listener of the podcast.
not
I know a
either.
lot of
I hear
people are big
little
fans. but
snippets of it, and I mean,
I caught the Twitter feed where it was all this like,
well, that's where the fun is always in the Twitter comments. So
yeah,
that's the good part. Quonset Hut Industrial Park going to be.
I don't know.
Lauren, our local roving reporter, is our source of all.
I saw that come through, and I'm not sure. There's several things going on in that general area. Could be fireworks. Is it? I don't know what a Quonset Hut is. I haven't.
It's that round metal building,
Yeah, I don't
Quonset
know what
Huts
that's
are-
going to be. I've wondered that. I drove by it last night. I don't know.
like a half cylinder on its side.
I didn't know that that's what that was called.
Quonset Hut. Well, there you go.
I just learned
Learned
something.
something.
Yeah.
I mean, I've heard that term before, and I just didn't know what it was called. No, I don't know what that is. They were working on it yesterday, and as I drove by it, it's like that weird corrugated, I don't know if that's corrugated metal, but it's like a dome, right?
Yep.
And they piece them together in sections, and there was 2 ladders leaned up against it, and I was like,
Where is this?
it's on...
The industrial park, Industry
it's
Road
on
down there.
Center. I mean, like, if you
Okay.
take Center east of town in the... on the Center Street side
Down there
of
where
it.
the feed store is and,
Yeah, just
and
past
all
the feed
that.
Just
store.
past that. Okay.
I don't know. There's a lot of buildings
Brawler's
being built over there.
place
Yeah,
down
his
there.
place is over there.
West of Copart.
Yep. I got you now.
It's pretty big, so I mean, it's going to be something. But I don't know. That'd be a
Cool.
good question.
Well, that is.
There seems to be a lot of an
We'll snoop into that. We'll see if we can find out by next week.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be awesome.
We'll be in the know.
We'll forget by next.
Man,
week.
a lot of excitement on Springfield Brewco's announcement.
Holy
that-
moly! Yeah,
that
that's
was kind
exciting.
of I hadn't heard anything about that until they
think-
had conceptual drawings and it was all out and
Yeah.
to say that it's gonna be ready by this fall.
That's exciting. I mean, to me, that looks like they're. Bub's was a neat place. Don't get me wrong.
Right, but-
I think it needed to go to the next level.
What's that place in Nixa that just opened up?
4x4.
No, not 4x4. The
14 mil market, which
Mill,
apparently
yeah.
is just killing it.
So my son has been there twice already, and they just opened up. He's like, Dad, it's awesome.
Well, they've got
That's a great concept. It's nothing new. It's like a food court.
Doug Grunberg's Divine Deli went in down there with a Paradiso pizza place.
And he's got I want to go try his pizza.
I want to go down there too, but I just don't want to go to Nixa.
That's my beef.
Right,
Nixa is a
Nixa-
haul.
Yeah,
it's a haul, and like the traffic's insane.
Yes, Nixa is a haul. There's a couple places I like to eat in.
Yeah,
I
but
like
you're-
Tony's in Nixa, and I'm like, I cannot
Yeah.
drive 40 minutes to get a breakfast burrito as much as I want to go to Tony's.
Yeah, they do have the best breakfast
They're
burrito.
amazing.
Yeah.
Tony's is no joke. And but no, that is such a cool concept. And again, it's nothing new. I mean, we used to have food courts, right, in malls back in the day that were a booming place.
but
I mean,
now
they still
outdoor.
exist.
So you can watch
Outdoor.
them. a movie or listen to a concert. They have, I guess this new place is going to have indoor and outdoor, kind of a scaled down Bruco menu, wood fire pizzas, and then a few other items. But
well, it's not exactly the same thing, but have you ever hit Zona Rosa up near the KCI airport?
I'm not.
It's basically an outdoor mall.
Nice.
But the stores are like real buildings, but in between all the buildings are like sidewalks and green space and all. There's an ice cream shop and there's a Chinese restaurant and all that.
And, well, that sounds like what they built out by the stadium and the racetrack on the Kansas side.
Yeah, I've heard about this. I'm going to try to go to a soccer match this
you'll love
year.
It. Even if you're not into soccer, that
my cousin
atmosphere is
cool
rowdy.
Yeah.
It's fun.
It's a little like Chesterfield Village.
Yes.
Although Chesterfield's got far more roads through it than a place like this would have. But kind of neat.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm going to have to go over to Nixa to go, because, I mean, that is a great concept. You think you've got kids. You know, you've got one person that wants to eat chicken nuggets all the time, and you've got another person that would eat some pizza or get a Soak-Home or
people out there playing cornhole or throwing frisbee or whatever.
I think that's a great I think what people need to realize, and I think a lot of people are and some people aren't, is that what the modern consumer want is different than what we were building throughout the 90s and early 2000s, because everything's cyclical, you know? And so we very much went to standalone structures and a suburban type thing for years. And now I feel like we're going back to the more businesses sharing spaces, which, I mean, makes sense. Expenses have gone up a lot.
It gives me hope for society because, you know, remember, we used to have front porches and now people have back decks, you know. And,
that's a good point.
And so maybe this is a little bit of a move back to being a little more social, a little more friendly. Like, let's gather in a common space, not at my house, but at least
don't you come to my house.
Don't you dare come to my house.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, at least people are being social and hanging out, and
that's good.
In person and not online.
That's amazing.
Yes.
Amazing.
Did you know you could do that still?
Well, not according to Peter Strauss. He still wants you to socially distant, apparently.
Oh, wow.
But no, I think that's good. And of course, you know, it's a lot easier on the business because they can share some costs, right? I mean, we do this at my building. You know, we and Sue share the space. We and Sue, that's a real weird to say. That. Sue and
we have it here at Jamestown with the Enterprise Center.
Yeah, you guys share space, and it works really well. I mean,
great.
It just makes sense. And I think you're seeing the most interesting interview I ever watched had to do with an architect talking, and I talked about this on air before, about how people used to operate before the automobile, right? Because you had to have everything pretty close to you, or you just went without, right? Or you just lived out of town and just didn't emerge into town very often. So, I mean, and I think we're kind of going back to that a little bit, the walkable, the multiple things in one spot, bringing people together. I think that's great.
You know, there's so many different pieces, I'm thinking, that have to come together to make something like that work.
Yeah.
Because you've got to have a good mix of folks that want that, can afford that, will go there. But then I'm just thinking about, you know, what I've been seeing here locally in Rogersville. And we have good law enforcement, but we clearly need more.
Yeah, well,
because,
it's grown a lot.
You know, we've got, you know, vandals now, and
there's definitely been some comments.
A lot of shenanigans going on
been
right
reading
now.
a lot
That's a good
about.
way to put it. There's a lot of shenanigans going on right now.
And you think about having an outdoor space like that. I mean, I think that would be very attractive to people.
It would be, and that's why
no good.
That's why you'd have to have a very.
You have to invest in some security.
You'd have to invest in some security. You'd have to invest in just knowing, you know, where you put it, how important that is, and, you know, neighbors being watchful of stuff like that's really important too. Because, I mean, frankly, the police aren't designed to prevent crime, right?
That's exactly right. Yeah.
I mean, they're not.
No.
So they're designed to show up after the fact. You can prevent crime by being aware of what's going on around you.
Yeah.
Well, there's
community plays a bigger part in preventing crime.
Absolutely.
You know, quite frankly, there's I think the appropriate term to use is probably herd immunity to protecting crime as well. If there are enough people in a community that actively, you know, are combating such things, then it just becomes a bad place to be a criminal.
Yeah, you want to send the message, you don't want to mess with me. You don't want to mess with these people.
Yeah.
Like, we're in this together.
How might we do that?
How might we? No, it's important, though. Like, I remember growing up as a kid, you kind of, we were just talking about it with the old guys. You know, it was like, you got on your bike in the morning and you rode it all over town and you never really felt threatened.
Yeah.
And then the one off that some weirdo confronted you, you just kind of made it known, like, dude, you don't want to mess with me. We got each other's backs, and this town will come after you. Like it was, that was what we grew up in. We felt safe.
Right.
But it was because community was present.
Yeah. And I mean, we don't feel that way.
No, you don't feel that way anymore.
You don't feel that way anymore.
You're suspicious of everyone. And you're like, who are you? Well, I don't know. Oh, you only live 2 doors away from me, and I don't know who you are.
Well, it's true. We don't know each other, and that's part of the problem. As far as having that type of atmosphere and community.
Well, and I mean, there's also this sense of kind of allowing, well, that's not that bad, so that's not that big of a deal, so we should just let that go on. I mean, it's kind of like the loose dog thing. That's becoming a really big problem, and everybody wants to love these animals and take care of these animals, right? And so we've basically become this culture of adopting animals.
Right. But you take care of your animals. Don't ask me to take care of yours.
Well,
exactly.
And
keep it under your control.
I cannot be afraid to walk in my community because of loose dogs.
Right.
You
Run
can't.
in
Well,
your community.
animals-
I like to run, and I don't want your dog coming at my heels.
And it's getting so bad, and I think this is happening everywhere because I think the pet ownership population has increased a lot, and I also think the number of pets people own. It's a huge responsibility, and it's not being treated that way.
Right. Well, animals and people both flourish with appropriate limits.
Yes.
And so, part of the issue with loose dogs is they're not going to flourish. It's not good for them.
No.
Who knows what they're going to get into? It's bad for the dogs. They're going to eat something they shouldn't eat. They're going to get hit by a car.
Right.
Yes.
So, it's not just that you're a bad dog owner because your dog's bothering somebody else. It's bad for the dog.
It absolutely. Well, it's unsafe. I mean, any animal professional vet's going to tell you it's unsafe for your dog to be roaming loose in a populated area.
That's why we have cats.
Yeah.
Because we don't have to.
I don't know. Gus, the neighborhood cat, tore after Evie the other day.
Well,
it was a vicious cat attack.
Our cats stay in the house.
He gave ample warning, though.
If you're going to have cats, please keep them in your house.
Yeah, cats are fantastic.
No.
Well, and I mean, and it's not just the loose dog thing. It's the being the good neighbor thing. Okay, so, well, mowing's not that big of a deal, and people shouldn't get tickets for mowing. And, oh, well, he just has one broke down car in his yard. Okay, pause. Couple of loose dogs, 3 or 4 houses in a neighborhood that aren't mowing.
And a car on blocks.
People drag racing in neighborhoods like Patriot Place. That was posted yesterday. People kicking on doors in the middle of the night.
We have new tire marks all the time out here at Jamestown.
And then it does become a problem.
Right.
Because I've said this so many times, good people are attracted to good places. Bad people are attracted to bad places. And if it looks welcoming to good people, they're going to go there. If it looks welcoming to bad people, they're going to go there. AKA Springfield right now with the homeless situation. Mm-hmm. It's out of control. I don't care what anybody says. It's out of control.
You get more of what you allow and support.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Subsidies versus taxation. You get less of what you tax, you get more of what you subsidize. So if you give money, if you give money for unemployment or welfare, or if you give money for not working, you're going to get more people that don't work. If you tax people that are successful, you're going to get less success.
Because it's like,
it's that simple.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that.
Well, yesterday I was, driving over here. I can't remember. It was probably in the morning, or later. I guess it was later in the day, actually. Some kid on a 4-wheeler on the road.
Not safe.
And actually went backwards through the roundabout because he ended up behind me or something.
Yeah.
And so
he wanted to get around you faster.
He went the other side around the roundabout to get around me.
He just go right through the gravel.
Yeah, I guess he could have.
He's great idea, Ballard.
If you're going to break the rules, do it right, kid.
Well, ATVs aren't allowed on the roads.
No.
Even if they're the side-by-sides that are, you got to have a flag.
Have to be licensed, have to flag.
Have to be licensed.
You need to have insurance because if you hit somebody.
Yep.
Yeah.
None of that was in place, and I'm like, what are you going to...
Well, and the frustrating thing to me is adults, so someone comments this, there's a kid kicking doors in this neighborhood. There's someone speeding through this neighborhood. Multiple adults will go on that post and say, it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, okay, Karen.
Okay, Karen.
Yep. Yeah.
They're just having some fun.
Yep.
And it's You know,
there's a line, right? Like
there is a line.
I got my buddy with 100 rolls of toilet paper. I know some people have a problem with that. For me, that's funny.
Yeah.
But that's a friend, and you didn't wake somebody up at 2 a.m., and you didn't actually damage their property.
Well, and nobody went on the local newspaper and said, "Good job, Ballard, for TPing, whoever's house."
Right.
Nobody publicly celebrated or encouraged your behavior.
That's really, I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah.
That's how that works today, though,
And
right?
that's
It didn't
how that
happen
works
unless
today.
it gets posted publicly.
Exactly. So, I mean, really, when you did a prank like that as a kid, right or wrong,
Just
a
purely
couple
the
of
satisfaction of,
it was the adrenaline rush.
Yeah.
You irritated somebody who probably may or may not have deserved to be irritated,
Or thought it was
depending on the
funny.
situation, or thought it was funny or silly.
Yep.
And it ended in a very small circle.
Yeah,
That's
it was
right,
never malicious, and it was
not
contained to a
malicious,
very small
yes.
circle.
And it was,
Yeah, that's different though than taking a package off somebody's porch or kicking in a door or waking
passing
somebody up.
people on a double line on 125.
yes.
And I mean, so this is the problem. I feel like we have this section of society that is proudly encouraging the bad behavior now.
Yeah, by saying it's no big deal.
Yeah.
Well, I just, there is an underlying, character issue, thought process. We always, as a prosecutor, a judge, and all that, we always talked about a criminal mindset.
100%, yeah.
About, the way of thinking justifies a criminal behavior.
Yeah.
And a criminal can always justify their behavior.
Yep.
And I've met a lot of criminals that did not have a justification. No, I had a good reason for this.
Yeah.
And that's a criminal mindset.
It's a victim mentality, too.
It can be.
Yeah.
That can be the
How
reason
often
they're
do you have somebody stand before you and say, I had a lapse of judgment. I wish I'd never done that.
That's very, very rare.
Yeah.
We deal with a lot of honestly petty crimes, and
Right.
sometimes there's so many municipal judges that take those things so much more serious than they should.
Yeah.
And I try to be really kind to everybody that's in my court, regardless of why they're there. But so
That's
many.
the best
of
way to
them,
not see them again.
Well,
frankly.
I hope so. But frankly, a lot of failure to register tickets and no insurance tickets.
Yep.
And you get the people that are like, yeah, and they're like, fine, I did it. And that's fine, but then you get the people that just really come in with a chip about, why are you wasting your time on things like this? Well, it's because it's a law, and you enforce all the laws to reinforce we don't want people to have a criminal mindset that says I can follow the laws I want to follow and not follow the laws I don't want to follow. So by enforcing petty laws, minor laws, even if you don't agree with them, and I'm not all that sure. I'm pretty libertarian. I'm not sure you should have to register your car,
right?
When it comes right down
but
to it.
But unfortunately, there is a reason behind it.
There is a reason behind it.
Yeah, and you got to follow it. And it's like the tag hunters thing. It's insane how many expired plates there are out there.
Yeah,
right now.
it's nuts. It's crazy.
But do police officers have time to even look at that? Do they?
No. And they don't.
Well, got so many other things. Not enough in the police force to begin with, and then so many other issues that they need to be focused on.
Yeah,
and that's true, and
I'm not saying that that's okay. Then don't get
well,
your tags
you don't know
renewed,
that person could have been pulled over 4 or 5 times, right?
Yeah. Could have.
You don't know. Could have.
But the kicker is here, our state, the court system, the powers that be came down and told all of us municipal judges, your fine for no tags is going to be $80. Mm-hmm. Well, it's $80. It doesn't matter if it's the 10th time I've seen you for not having your card. It's $80. And you think about just anybody that can do math and is unconcerned goes, do I pay the $6,000 in sales tax to register my car, or do I get three $80 tickets a year?
I'll probably get three $80 tickets
I'll take three $80 tickets a year.
Non-moving violation.
Yeah.
It's a non-moving violation.
Not a whole lot to lose there.
The only issue that comes up is if when you go to sell that car, it's not in your name, but if you drive it till the wheels fall off, or just sell it to somebody else.
Somebody else that doesn't care. And away you go. And bad begets bad, right? So as you said, that they run in the same circle.
It just kind of grows and grows and grows and grows. And
I'm surprised there's not a Facebook group out there somewhere. It's like, of people that want to buy and sell unregistered vehicles.
There probably is.
Well, there will be now because I just
put
the idea out there.
Will just bought the domain name.
I'm a bad judge. Giving everybody all the bad ideas.
Oh, man. And I don't know.
Is that conflict of interest if you sell that domain name?
Probably, yeah, probably. I don't know. I'm not going to do it,
But it is tough, and like, what are the answers, right? What do you do? You know, we can't just all of a sudden add more police because there's not more police to add out there.
Well, you
right?
got to pay for them.
You got to pay for them. Well, and here's an interesting thing that's happening right now. So I've had to call Webster County about property taxes a couple of times. Greene County people just got shocked with their tax bill getting reassessed again.
Christian County too.
Webster County did a pretty good job of
Vicky.
not doing that.
Glad you made it.
But taxes and insurance are just going to go up every year now, right? They're just going to, or at least every other year. So, I called Webster County, and a couple of different times I've heard the same thing. Oh, you're in city limits of Rogersville, and I've not been calling for myself. I've been calling for clients. They're the highest, and they are. They're the highest levied property tax rate in Webster County. But that's not a very good thing to hear when you pick up, and that's what they say when you pick up the phone, and that's what you're met with.
Yeah,
right?
at first blush, I'm like, no, that's not good. I don't like taxes. I don't like property taxes. I think sales tax is the only fair way to levy taxes. But I can see someone, including myself, willingly wanting to choose a town that has a relatively high tax rate if those taxes are going
to the school.
Well,
my thing is to the school.
The school, school's one. But I mean, if we're building parks, if we've got a nice park, we got a good police service, we've got a lot of. If those are paying for services, that are really benefiting. If the sidewalks are in good repair, in
the property tax case, it's going to schools, which is why I said that. The bulk of it, that's where it's going. But it's a very small portion going to City of Rogersville. But your point is, it's like city governments shouldn't be run like conservative households. Okay, there's a difference. There's a different thing there. You can be responsible with money, but at the end of the day, you're supposed to be providing services to the town because that's what they're paying you for, and make sure that whatever utility they run is working. If they've got a jail, some of them do, some of them don't. All these things are supposed to be working right. And it's a different mindset. Same thing with the federal government. I mean, the federal government shouldn't run like a conservative household. However, it also shouldn't just bleed money and waste money.
It needs to stay within its budget still.
Yeah, it needs to stay within its budget. And it also needs to have its priorities in line.
More so than the budget.
Which, I mean, we know that there's no priorities in line with the federal government. I mean, it's a complete money grab for all parties involved, in my opinion.
Abhorrent.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just...
When they're budgeting off of pretend money.
It's like, let's see, my friend Bob wants to become a millionaire. What law can I pass to help Bob become a millionaire so then he can pay for my campaign? I mean, that happens.
Take 30 seconds and go to the bill proposal. So I can remember where it was, and just type in IRS code and look at all the amendments, new changes to the tax code. Or if you're really interested, listen to the Fair Tax Guys podcast. Every time they release a podcast every week, they do that, and they walk through all of the laws that are being proposed to change the tax code, and they are all clearly targeted to benefit a particular industry or person.
Absolutely.
Like, we're going to give a tax break to, and it'll be very complicated, but when it comes right down, you realize that this tax break is for people that do inland shrimp harvesting, and there's probably like two guys doing that.
With a specific boat.
They're going to get this huge tax break, and so they made a big donation, and it's just a big shell game, and that's why we have to get rid of the IRS and the tax code, because it's merely used to pick winners and losers.
I was going to say, you'll never get rid of the tax code for that reason.
Well, I know
you lose control if you get rid of the tax codes.
Well, and to me, I call them the whirligig light bulb. What were those called? They didn't last long. Back when probably about 10 years ago, they started getting rid of the traditional light bulbs.
Oh, incandescents.
And I call them the whirligigs.
When you said whirlybird, I was like, I was picturing a light just spinning around.
Yeah, well, I was too. So, you're talking about those fluorescent ones.
Those fluorescent ones that
twisted,
they're like, hey, everybody should be using these.
Right.
They're all made overseas. Yeah. It's for the environment. Okay.
Of course it is.
So what company?
It's for the children.
What company made their millions off of that light bulb, or billions is my question? Because first of all, that thing was a
GE?
toxic waste nightmare.
Yep.
Because it had a 20-step process that you were supposed to use to dispose of it if it ever broke.
And they go in the trash.
Absolutely.
did.
Everybody throws
Nobody's
them
going
in the trash.
I never knew the
Absolutely.
process.
How long did that last? Not long.
Well, but
at
now
all.
now they're still fluorescent, or they're LEDs now.
They're
I
LED,
guess.
yeah.
LED.
Yeah,
now, I guess.
LEDs. And I mean, the LED is a better product
Yeah,
than
it
the Whirligig was. But
That's hilarious.
now they are literally making the standard light bulb illegal. I mean,
Yep.
they're...
so like you don't even be
Yeah.
able to buy Edison bulbs for
illegal.
for decoration.
it is illegal.
I'm
and
sure
I
in
think
California they already are.
I think it is an awesome use, not awesome, it's an acceptable use of our tax dollars to do a study that says these are bad, you should use these, and then educate the public.
Yeah.
This is good,
That's
you should do
totally
this.
Let
appropriate.
consumers make their decision.
Let consumers make their decision.
Yeah.
But that would signify that we're a part of this wonderful
Be like
republic.
it
that-
would be like it's a government of the people, by the people, for the people. I mean, imagine that concept if that was the way.
you all are talking crazy now.
Just
Crazy.
Banned on
You think the people could make good decisions for
No,
themselves?
we know how to make better decisions for the people. Come on.
a person.
Give us your money,
this
we'll tell
is-
you how to use
This
it.
is one of the best movie quotes of all time. It's from Men in Black. A person is smart. People are dumb.
That's fair. That's good.
Yeah,
I guess I missed that line. That's,
Yeah, that's a good.
was that in the original
such a
Men in
good
Black?
The original
movie.
one? Good old Tommy Lee Jones.
That's such a good
person
movie.
is smart. People are dumb. And that may not be the
Forgot
exact
that.
quote, but
Yeah,
that's
I'll have to
the
go back and
Somewhere
look.
along there.
That's a great movie.
Go back and watch that, but it's a good one. But anyway, time to land the plane. But Father's Day, anybody good?
It was a good Father's Day. Did you guys have a good Father's Day?
Yeah.
I had lunch.
Good church day. The
Yeah.
family took me to the mill. It was nice.
Peter
Nice.
bought me a play mat for Magic the Gathering.
Yep.
So
And today,
awesome.
today is Shane and I's 25th wedding anniversary. Happy
Congratulations.
anniversary, sweetie.
Congratulations.
I know you're not
25,
watching
that's
because
a big
you're,
one.
yeah. She set it off to teach summer school.
I know,
so
Beth.
Pretty low key anniversary today. But
somebody did vote for him. Or maybe, I don't know. I don't even confidence in that anymore either. I'm not sure.
yeah, we don't have time to get into that. I thought we were landing this
we gotta
plane.
get out of here. But anyway, thanks for watching. We'll be back next week with more waffle.
Bye bye.